Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pope.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Pope. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have live. First Contact Radio. We have live. First Contact Radio. First Contact Radio. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Today is the 7th of July, 2015. Right here, sun sign Capricorn, moon sign in Leo. So, just like yesterday, we are going to be dealing with Earth and fire. Earth stays stable. Earth doesn't move. Fire moves. So we just look at the very, very basics of how energy moves. So we have the Earth, the physical world, the body, things of the physical world, careers, jobs, anything that relates to the physical world. However, we're reminded through Tarot that the physical world is just an aspect of life. It is a manifestation of the fire, the water, and the air. The ideas, the words, and the actions that bring that physical form into reality. Then we have the moon sign, just like yesterday, which is a fire sign, Leo. Leo the lion. Leo instills courage, confidence, love, creativity. It brings these into the mix. What is important is that we learn to tame that beast within so that we can bring these things to the mix, because otherwise that beast just runs crazy. So we're looking to now find a way with all of this movement and these ideas to really channel them into what we're doing. This is a great opportunity at the beginning of the year here to really channel into what it is we want to manifest into our lives. And just continue to remember the idea that we are in this world, but not of this world. Okay? We've been shared that information many times. Jesus was one of those who expressed that to us. So it's very important that we remember that. A couple aspects to look at over the course of the day. Uranus, just recently, within the last 2 hours, went into a trine with the moon sign Leo. So Uranus is unexpected changes, surprises, and we have this trine, which is a good positive energy that's going on between them. So what we're going to do is we want to understand how that there could be some unexpected ways, and maybe we express our creativity. Maybe we're really finding something within ourselves that we didn't realize was there, and allowing that to come to the surface. We all like surprises. Surprises can make us quite happy, so allow that to occur over the course of the day. And then this evening, we have an aspect with Jupiter. And Jupiter expands things. So Jupiter's now going to expand that realm that the Leo is running around in. It's going to expand the energies of what's around there. And so all of that creativity, all of that positivity, all of that strength and confidence gets expanded out. And so with that expansion gives us an opportunity to really express more. Today I thought I would bring up this other chart here as well to look at. This is a chart which shows us the wheel that where everything is. So we can see here is our, let's take a look at where everything is. Here's our moon in Leo right down here. Here's Jupiter in the mix over here. With this expansion that's going to take place, you could see over in Sagittarius and Saturn right here, the disciplinarian and our truthfulness, all in the realm here of the Sagittarius just passing out of the Scorpio. Over here in Capricorn, we've got Pluto. Some of these are planets that have been there for a long time and will be there for a long time. Our sun sign here in Capricorn, so Pluto's deep transformation through what's going on in the physical realms, how we are developing ourselves. Aquarius, we have Mercury and Venus both here together. And the male and the female energies working together here. Communication, imagination, as we look towards the future, so good possibilities. We come over here, we got Mars is still in Aquarius, so we are fueled, have a lot of energy to fuel those ideas of the future. Okay, Neptune and Pisces. Neptune says take a different look at the way things are going. Flip your perspective upside down. Aries, Uranus. This is the unexpected changes, maybe in leadership, maybe in the way that we're going to pioneer forward in life. So I just thought it would be interesting to look at some of these aspects on the wheel. I'll try to bring up something more like this on a regular basis. If we look at the Jewish calendar, we could see that today is a 16th Tevet, is the name of today. And the daily thought for today is answers in boxes. How could it be that a prayer goes unanswered? Some will tell you that every prayer is answered, but sometimes the answer is no. Those who say this do not understand the secret of prayer, for prayer is when a human being below burns down the walls of his or her own ego, bringing delight to the one above, and when the delight is brought above, it must return below. So some will tell you that yes, the prayer is always answered, but perhaps only in a spiritual realm. Not always can a prayer affect the coarseness of our material world. But this cannot be, for the human being below did not pray for a spiritual blessing, but for a material one. To the place from which the prayer came, to there the blessing must return. Rather, it must be that every prayer is answered in our world, now for the one who prayed and for that for which he prayed. The problem is only in the packaging, that it is wrapped up in the messy business of our coarse and our dark world, so that at times we cannot see through the wrappings to discover the answer to our prayer. But there will be a time when all of us return to the one above with all of our hearts, and then all the concealment of this world will be shattered. The wrappings will fall away, and we will see how each prayer was answered in its time, and we will hold all of the blessings of all of those millennia in our hands. So again, very important. We touched on this the other day. The universe has basic laws, and the laws work 100% of the time. When we ask for something, we receive that which we ask for. When we continue to ask for that same thing, sometimes the reason we're continuing to ask for the same thing is because we don't believe that when we ask for it the first time that the law is going to work and we're going to receive what we asked for. So sometimes when we start asking more and more, there's a different sense in there. Sense of doubt, maybe sense of desperation, sense of neediness. And so those things get into the mix, and the universe starts to deliver those things as well. And so they get into the original mix. So we really have to pay attention, and this is where faith comes into the mix, that we really need to understand when we ask, we receive. That simple. When we put out energy into the universe, the energy comes back. If we limit ourselves to what we know with our human minds, then we limit ourselves into how that package needs to look when it returns to us. When we allow the universe, when we allow God to bring to us what we need in the form that it needs to be in, that form may come in some package that is a bit surprising or differently than we really thought, than we originally had in mind. And that's okay, because when we examine what that packaging is, we'll find that that packaging is exactly what we need. Because the universe, much more intelligent than we are, brings to us what we need. in the way that we need it. And so we just need to be open-minded to understand how the universe works and gives us what we need in the way we need it, and not limit ourselves to what our human mind says, because our human mind is affected by all of the things that take place in this world. Remember, we're in this world but not of it. So when we allow the higher energies, the fire, the water, the air, the higher dimensions to work with us, we find that they're working with us to help us to get what we need in the way we need to get it, as opposed to the way we think we need to get it. There's a difference, and so this is very important that we pay attention and we really take heed in what we're receiving and be grateful for it, because that's the very important step as well, the gratitude. Current moon phase here is 94% of the way full, making our way down to the new moon. Today, our solar wind is 417.5 kilometers per second. We do have a storm taking place at this time. Planetary K-index is up to a 7. Remember, this is a scale that only goes to 9. So we've got some heavy-duty energy out there hitting the planet right now. Coronal hole, we have the large coronal hole down here. This could be affecting us at this point in time. Still feeling some of the effect from this. These really haven't come into a direct Earth-facing way, so we're probably not feeling anything from there. But we are receiving this storm energy from somewhere. And this might account for what's going on with the crazy weather that's hitting the planet right now. It does tell us up here, unexpected geomagnetic storm erupted during the early hours today, sparking bright auroras around the Arctic Circle. So if we go down, we're going to look at these geomagnetic storms. Let's see where we're at. 50% chance of an M-class flare. 10% chance we're going to have an X-class. Geomagnetic storm activity within the next 24 hours is going to jump up to 35% possibility and 50% possibility in the high latitudes of some sort of activity. So if you're feeling a bit agitated, energized, whatever you might be feeling, could be due in part to the fact that we are in the middle of a storm. So just something to keep in mind as we go through the course of the day. And if we take a look at what we're looking at in the sky tonight, it says the evening, you can finally see comet Lovejoy in the morning, free sky again. If you look within an hour or so after dark for most of the world's mid-northern latitudes. The comet is closest to Earth tonight. It is also entering its brightest 2 weeks at the 5th or 4th magnitude, but you'll have to know exactly where the comet points in the sky to examine it. The waning gibbous moon rises about an hour after darkness is complete. Brilliant Jupiter shines to its left as shown above. Although they look close together, Jupiter is 1,660 times further away than the moon and 40 times larger in diameter. Algo is minimum light for a couple of hours. So this is what you're going to see when you're looking east tonight into the sky. Got a moon right here. Jupiter's just going to be a bit off to the left of it. And then we've got Leo down here, off to the left, Regulus. Okay. And that is the energy we're dealing with over the course of today, cosmic weather. I'll be back. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. So we got some more sightings. Every day there's sightings. Every single day, new sightings taking place. I'm showing you just a few that are out there. But if you do your search, just Google it. Check out the different forums. There's all different ways people are reporting sightings. So here we have a sighting took place. This one was up on the moon, again from NASA sources. And we have this object here, which is perhaps, it says triangle UFO found crashed on the far side of Earth's moon. This comes to us from UFO Sightings Daily, Scott C. Waring. Alright. And as Scott likes to do, he makes it real easy for you to see by adding some color to it so you can get a better look at it. But once you understand what's there, now you can see it a little bit clearer. And it's a definite triangle-shaped object. This triangle ship was found in the Ryder crater on the far side of the moon, the side never facing us. It was found again by StreetCap1 of YouTube, who's on a constant watch for new evidence that will shed some light on the existence of aliens. I have to say this does blow me away. Its detail and shape are a clear indication that this was a triangular-shaped craft. At the ends of the corners, the ends are turned upward, which shows that this was a craft that flew both in space and in atmospheres of planets. Also, top center was raised, a lot like UFOs seen in the past. I wonder who will get to this alien tech first, USA or Russia or China. Okay. So, very fascinating indeed, as always. Go and you can so definitely more going on than is being reported in the mainstream news. But a very definite object indeed. Okay, 2 UFOs flying over Corte Madera, California. Here's a video of 2 bright objects hovering in the sky above Corte Madera in a town in Marin County, California, filmed on the 3rd of January. Witness says, I was on my way home from work. I noticed 2 very bright objects in the sky to my left of my direct sight. I was on the phone with my father at the time and told him I saw something strange and had to call him back. The reason these objects looked so peculiar was because they were on fire. Red and orange and glowing bright. They looked circular, almost like 2 orbs on fire. I was in shock because I had never seen anything like these objects in the sky before. I pulled over to the side of the road, started taking a video with my iPhone. As the objects steadily moved closer to me, I got really nervous and jumped back into my car and sped home. I called the police department in my town. I was on the phone with dispatch explaining what I had seen and how freaked out I was. I lost sight of the object as I drove up the hill to my house. The dispatcher told me to go back, see if I could see the objects. When I drove back to the hill, there was only one hovering. It appeared to be further in a distance than when I had last seen it. The woman on the other line told me that she would have an officer come out and investigate. The object being so far away at this point made me feel a bit better, and I ended my conversation with the police department's dispatcher. I then turned around, back up the hill, and arrived safely at my residence. Okay, so there we go. Lights in the sky. 26-second video. Alright, moving from there, here we have strange video taken of Cloaked plane in the Chemtrails. We are bringing this video to you because in the past, Crow Triplehorn has provided reliable photos and videos. There is no doubt that this plane flies through the chemtrails, but it is questionable whether it is also cloaked or just hazy in the sky. There are also just a few small blemishes on the lens which should be ignored. Here's the poster says, I was making a clip for filming the sun. I swung over to film chem planes. I caught a strange plane. It almost looks cloaked. I also show what needed to film the sun. Alright, so 5 minutes, 59 seconds. Him showing you how he was going to do this with the sun, the gear he was wearing and using, and then the object that was seen. And there we go. Okay. Check this out in its length, 6 minutes. Okay, story here, NASA exhibits an elitist attitude towards ancient alien theory. The story below indicates that NASA must have some concrete inside knowledge disproving the ancient alien theory, or that they are simply intolerant of things that they cannot prove. It seems a shame that NASA won't allow the ancient UFO alien theory presentation into the conference. It shows an arrogant, elitist attitude that is sure to damage their reputation around the world. So the scientist at NASA's Ames Research Center in California has launched an online petition demanding that the lecture on ancient Indian aviation technology to be delivered at the 102nd Indian Science Conference in Mumbai in January be cancelled, as it brings into question the integrity of the scientific process. Dr. Ram Prasad Gandhirama's petition, already signed by 220 scientists and academians around the world, places its opposition to the lectures in the largest context of the increasing attempts in India to mix mythology with science, and cites Prime Minister Narendra Modi calling Lord Ganesha a product of the ancient Indians' unparalleled knowledge of plastic surgery as an example. Mumbai Mirror was the first to report how the organizers of the 102nd Indian Science Congress, to be held January 3rd through 7th at Mumbai University Kalyana campus, had slipped in Vedic mythology about aviation and the Science Congress schedule, which is otherwise packed with talk of ribosomes, resistance to antibiotics, and the origins of life, and discourses on controlling the cell cycle, all delivered by some of the finest scientific minds, including 6 Nobel laureates. The lecture on the ancient Indian aviation technology is to be delivered by Captain Anand J. Bodas and Amiya Jadhav. Speaking to the Mumbai Mirror for the previous report, Bodas had claimed that the ancient Indian aeroplane traveled from one country to another, from one continent to another, and then one planet to another. He also asserted that in those days aeroplanes could move left, right, as well as backwards, unlike modern planes which only flew forward. Dr. Gandhi Raman's petition says that it is appalling that such prestigious science conference is providing a platform to pseudoscience talk. We, as scientific community, should be seriously concerned about the infiltration of pseudoscience in science curricula with backing of influential political parties. Giving a scientific platform for a pseudoscience talk is worse than a systematic attack that has been carried out politically by powerful pseudoscience propagandists in the past. If the scientists remain passive, we are betraying not only science, but also our children. So it goes on to say, basically what you've got is somebody's trying to debunk information that we have found to be very important. We've heard the stories of the Vimanas. They've been studied for quite some time, and all you have is just someone trying to debunk. Happens everywhere. Moving on, cover up, UFO Cover Up Revelations. Here we have MJ12 and ET Quarantine with Stanton Friedman, the Dark Journalist. Join Dark Journalist with legendary UFO investigator and nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman as they expose the cover-up and unravel the COINTELPRO that is spreading disinformation through puppet debunkers and dubious movies to discredit alien disclosure via covert propaganda programs. Together they uncover the evidence that shows that the Earth may now be under an ET quarantine due to its warlike stance with the development of the Star Wars defense system and the secret space program. They also suggest that warnings from ET visitors may be the reason why NASA has virtually dropped all of its moon missions and manned space travel. Stanton Friedman is the most respected author in the field of UFO contact and has written top influential books on the subject, including the groundbreaking Top Secret Magic about the famous Majestic 12 or MJ12 documents that reveal a clandestine government program to deny the existence of extraterrestrial visitors while reverse engineering their incredibly advanced futuristic technology. From secretive breakaway national security state players to the stonewalling mainstream corporate media gatekeepers, this new Dark Journalist episode will shock you with its implications of a deep, organized plan to hide the reality of advanced interstellar off-world visitors. So here this episode is 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 23 seconds.
Hi, this is Dark Journalist.
So I'm going to say to check this out. Stanton Friedman has always got a lot of information, and certainly isn't the first time you're going to hear anything about a quarantine that happened on this planet. We've talked about this before. I've mentioned that I think that the whole Van Allen radiation belt is like a big electronic fence that's put around us to keep us violent humans down here from going out and poisoning space, because that is what we seem to do. So I think it's very significant, very important. You know, one thing that I found fascinating was, despite the fact that we're told that we went to the moon in 1969 through the Van Allen radiation belts, last year during the Orion project, there was a NASA engineer who made the comment that the Van Allen radiation belts were not safe for humans, and that until they resolved that problem, they were only sending unmanned craft through there. So the question is, how in 2014 were they still having problems with an issue that they seem to have solved back in 1969? Well, we don't know how they're going to get the information from 1969, because as we're told, all of that information was lost. So there you have it. Very convenient as always. They lost the information. Now they say that they can't find it. And you know the rest. Yada, 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 right? Just more smokescreen. But people are wising up. Listen to the interview to find it enlightening. And here says, here's a story from UFO Digest. Record evidence like a pro, anytime, anywhere. You never know when the strange will strike. You may spot an abnormal light in your sky while driving in your car, or see an odd-looking creature outside your window at night. Often witnesses have encounters with the anomalous when they least expect it, and that makes recording the event difficult. There are some things that you can do to collect great evidence when your path crosses the supernatural and anomalous. All you need is a smartphone. Forget those ghost radar and other novelty apps. A couple of key apps can really improve the quality of your recordings. First, get a sound recorder app. Chances are your smartphone already has one installed, so check your list of apps. A sound recorder can be useful for recording sound in cases where you may not be able to take photos or record video. If you don't have an app already installed on your phone, search your app store. There are some sound recorders available. Another good one to have is the Theodite app. Say Theodite 10 times fast. This uses your iPhone's existing camera and projects an overlay that includes your location, direction your phone is facing, and the time and date, altitude, and your phone's angle when you take your phone. This provides a lot of additional information that makes analyzing your images much easier. Alright, so there's more good information on this particular subject. Check out the link, and if you're looking to record any sort of anomalous activity, it's good to have these apps readily available. That's our UFO news. I'll be right back, and we're going to continue on with the Book of Daniel. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. So, the Book of Daniel. The Book of Daniel is an important book. It goes hand in hand with the Book of Revelation. It's very important that before we get into the Book of Revelation, we take a step back and look at the Book of Daniel, because it outlines information that we need to know to really help us to understand the Book of Revelation. The reason that I'm bringing this information to you is because I truly believe that the events of the end times are unfolding before our very eyes. We see the world, we see all the craziness going on in the world. We certainly seem to have come to a breaking point in many different areas. We see evil spreading itself across this planet, evil seems to be getting more evil, but at the same time, there's goodness which is taking place that is coexisting, and the goodness seems to be growing as well. So this is a point where we can look and we can see either the good or the evil. The book of Daniel shows us and teaches us the idea of faith, the faithfulness that we need to maintain in the believing of God, that despite all of the bad things that are going on, while maintaining this condition of faith, one is able to move through and navigate through all the bad times and just experience the good, because that is what God brings to our lives when we really allow God to be part of our lives. After all, God is the creator of all things. Now, there are those out there who don't believe God exists, and, well, I don't know what to tell you, because if you don't understand and don't believe, then that's your journey and something you're going to need to figure out. I am not one of those, and I know many of you watching this show aren't like that either. So, for that, we read on. Now, the first 6 chapters of Daniel are chapters that do get into discussing Daniel and life at that time and some of the challenges that they were going through. And then as it gets into the rest of the book, it starts getting into prophecy. We're at the 6th chapter. We read 1 through 5 the last couple of days. So let us continue on. This is Daniel, chapter 6. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was the first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and the princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and the princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. Forasmuch as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Then said these men, We shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and thus unto him King Darius will live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains, have counseled together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree, that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish this decree, and sign the writing, that it not be changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Parisians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knee 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. Then men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplications before his God. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree, that every man shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, The thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Parisians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored till going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Parisians is, that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel, and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Why God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Thy God, who thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting, neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning, and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thou servest, continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent an angel, and hath shut the lions' mouth, that they have not hurt me, forasmuch as before him innocently was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives. And the lions had the mastery of them, and brake all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote up unto all the people, nations, and languages that dwell on the earth, Peace be multiplied unto you. And make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, and steadfast forever. And his kingdom, that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be ever unto the end. He delivereth and he rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius, in the reign of Cyrus of Persia, the Persian. Chapter 7. In the first year of Belshazzar, the king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and the visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream, and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spoke and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. And the four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and the man's heart was given unto it. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given unto it. And this I saw in the night visions, and behold, the 4th beast, a dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was like fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horns spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given unto the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and brought him near before him. And there was given him a dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Daniel was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all of this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of these things. These great beasts which are four kings which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceedingly dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue of his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it into pieces. And the 10 horns out of the kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given unto his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it until the end. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my contingence much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. Chapter 8. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is the province of Elam, and I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw and beheld, there stood before the river a ram, which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the other came up last. And I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beasts might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will, and became great. And as I was considering, behold, a goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hands. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. And one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceedingly great towards the south, and towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given unto him against the daily sacrifice by the reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it prospered. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto the certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, Unto 2,300 years, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. And it came to pass, when I, even I, Daniel, had seen the vision, and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man to understand the vision. So he came near where I stood, and when I came, I was afraid, and fell upon my face. But he said unto me, Understand, O Son of Man, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. Now as he was speaking with me, I was in deep sleep upon my face towards the ground. But he touched me and set me upright. And he said, Behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation, for the time appointed the end shall be. The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn is that between his eyes is the first king. Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressions are come to the full, the king of fierce countenance and the understanding dark sentences shall stand up. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted and was sick certain days afterward. I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. So, very fascinating. So now we could see that in the last 2 chapters, 7 and 8, we started to get into these prophecies of the future. And as was recently just stated in this last one, these visions that he had weren't for that time. They were for the time that we're in. So he was told to shut them up to a later time. And so this is the reason why we need to understand this book. And after going through the reading of this, we will discuss and decipher a bit what this was all about. And then we will go into Revelation, because they tie together very much. All right? So let's move on from there. Here's an article about the 7 chakras and the links to our subconscious. This comes from Davina Skinner. The chakras do not start and end with their description or definition, which is where many people stop with their understanding of them. To know their name and position is great, but what purpose does that serve? What use is that information to you in your daily life? The chakras are amazing, organic, 3-dimensional centers of energy, and within them they hold so many secrets. When their energy is combined, it makes up what we call the aura, the energy field within and around the human body. It is within this energy sphere that psychics can see and can discern many things about you that the normal person is not consciously aware of. Many of these things you can become more conscious of yourself, and to my mind, it is your subconscious mind giving you some minute signals, trying to get through to you. This is just the same and linked with how your body language works. Your body language is your chakra energy at work. There are many great ways that the chakras can try to get your attention, often by being out of balance. Again, there are a whole host of symptoms that would indicate an out of balance chakra, but if for the purpose of trying to keep things simple, I highlight just one common signal for each of the 7 chakras. So, we have the base chakra. A good indicator of how stable the base chakra might be is to consider what you do with your feet and legs when you sit down to certain situations. You may sit with both feet firmly placed on the floor. You may occasionally cross your legs. In and of itself, there is no great indicator here unless there tends to be a regular and a repeated pattern. You may find often you cross your legs tightly, almost winding them around the chair leg, or you may fidget excessively, and you may feel the need to raise your feet up off of the floor and in some cases sit with your knees bent up in front of you. This can indicate a sense of insecurity, which is one of the key elements of the base chakra. The sacral chakra is the one at the belly button. You may notice you often cover this area below the navel with your hands. This tends to be out of an instinctive need to feel protective. It could be an area that is easily prone to storing fat in men and women and is linked to how vulnerable you feel in relationships in particular. It is an emotional powerhouse and it is important to be able to flow with these emotions. Otherwise, you may encounter creativity problems, not just physically, but mentally too. The solar plexus, the chakra you already associate with your subconscious or inner knowing, whether you realize it or not. This is, after all, the home of your gut instinct. This is for no reason that we call it this. The chakra directly links with your core spirit or energy that instinctively knows what or who is good for you and which situations are bad. Recall a time when you had a bad feeling about someone or something, and you will no doubt recall the sickening feeling in your stomach. Often things happen so quickly that we don't stop to consider just what our reactions are about how precisely where they affect us in the body. The heart chakra, this is no surprise, is all about love. How comforting it is when you feel hurt or upset to receive a loving or caring hug from someone. It is a natural instinct to put your arms around each other and to touch hearts. It is a comfort, and it is in effect two energies, the two people meeting, one giving, one receiving in this instance. To watch anyone in pain tugs at your heartstrings, and that is just what it is like if you could see the energy. The throat chakra not only relates to the throat and the neck area, but to the organs that you use in communication too. Your ears, mouth, nose, it is very often associated with your ability to speak your truth. You may know someone who covers their neck and throat area regularly, either with high collar or scarves. This can indicate that a lot of what they would really like to say is left unsaid or is covered up. This can either result in resentful gossip out of earshot or a built-up of unsaid stuff that at some point bursts forth in an emotional storm. The third eye chakra, often you will see people rubber tap this area as if trying to get literally to grab a hold of any thought they somehow know is there, but they just can't get a hold of it. This is the intuitive chakra center of the mind. It can easily be pulled out of sync by the logical, rational, conscious mind we use for a large part of the day. As you may have noticed, when you let go of cleansing that elusive thought, you will get on with the unrelated task. The inspiration or information seems to magically come from nowhere. And the crown chakra, excessive worry itself here in a physical can indicate itself in a physical way. One of the most common is you see people holding their head in their mouth, in their hands, to despair or deep concern when they just don't know what to do or they can't see the answer in a certain predicament. They may feel totally blocked in being able to see the way forward and keep their head looking downwards. The majority of the instances above link them to the body language, but when you look deeper and start to reveal more about the chakras and their links to your mental and emotional well-being, as well as your physical and spiritual well-being, then you start to get a more holistic view of your true potential and the beauty as a human spirit. It's a very good article. Go read through that again. And very important because as we always talk about, and I always like to mention, we are a byproduct. The physical is a byproduct of the fire, the water, the air. What else is out there? And so as we look at these chakras, these are all energies that are affecting the physical body, that manifest in the physical in some way. But we can go in and we can understand how to work with these chakras to develop them, to cleanse out the problems that we're having so that our physical body can be affected and work in the way that we would like it to work. Again, it's just a way that our body teaches us and works with us and shows us what's going on. All right, let me give here our reading. This is from the Warriors of, actually let's go to our channeled message for today. This is from the High Council of Orion.
Begin to wonder. Channeled Ascension message from the High Council of Orion.
January 3rd, 2015. Channeled by Holly Hawkins Marwood. Transcribed by Holly Hawkins Marwood.
The Council.
Greetings, dear ones. We are the High Council of Orion. Have you ever thought about the power and the experience of wondering? As you wonder and consider and ponder, what you are doing is opening your energetic field to a greater source of information, to a different reality, and a different point of view. We invite you today to begin to wonder about the things in your life, then begin to think about whatever specific things you're wondering about, and then allow yourself to wonder from a new point of view. The foundation of all change that you're experiencing, and that you will experience as time goes by, is an energetic change. One way to connect with the energy of change is through the experience of wondering. So you could begin wondering, for example, why it is that you feel a particular way towards a particular person. You could wonder why you feel limited or stuck. As you wonder, you can, in a sense, answer that with what your experiences have been. But once you get through that layer of the wondering, you can begin wondering about what the next step is. What's beyond that? What more can you understand? What more information can come in to help shift your point of view, bring new information in, or change the circumstance? You can even wonder what other point of view you could have that could create greater ease. In this first example that we've been giving is about places that maybe you feel that your area, places that you feel your life is not working and flowing the way you would like it to. But have you ever thought about wondering about why all the things are that are great in your life and wonder why those areas are so fantastic? Maybe you have a terrific relationship. Maybe you have a job that you really love going to every day. Have you ever wondered why the relationship is so good and why your job situation is so fantastic? For often it's easy to take for granted that which is really working, yet as you wonder and bring that energy of wonder and openness to the things that are working well in your life, you can begin seeing perhaps how you made shifts and changes, and saw the evidence of difference in your life. You can applaud yourself and feel grateful to yourself for that. We invite you today to begin playing with the idea of wondering and feel that expansion that can happen as you play with the energy of wonderment. It can open your field. It can bring answers to you that perhaps you haven't considered. The energy of wonder can take situations that you are in the middle of that perhaps you cannot find a way out of, or you can't understand, and bring a new level of understanding and a shift in an energetic perspective to you as you begin to just wonder. If you just pull yourself into the space of wonderment right now, with an idea or thought, something that you would like to consider in your life, and breathe into that. We invite you to feel the expansion in your energies and begin to play with this, and see the new and exciting information and ideas and energetic shifts that can come into your life. Be blessed. We are the High Council of Orion.
All right, very good. Very good message. Passage from the Warrior of the Light. Warriors of the light always keep a certain gleam in their eye. They are of this world. They are part of their lives of the other people, and they set out their journey with no saddlebags and no sandals. They often cowardly. They do not always make the right decisions. They suffer over the most trivial things. They have mean thoughts and sometimes believe they are incapable of growing. They frequently deem themselves unworthy of any blessing or miracle. They are not always quite sure what they are doing here. They spend many sleepless nights believing their lives have no meaning. This is why they are warriors of the light, because they make mistakes, because they ask themselves questions, because they are looking for a reason and are sure to find it. All right, just something to contemplate. I know it's a lot of information being thrown at you through these shows, but that's good. Information is good. We process it, and now let's kind of consider what we heard and everything as we go into a meditation. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, exhale. Take another deep breath, exhale again. Let's imagine light flowing down into your body, entering the crown chakra, the top of your head. Imagine the color there of that chakra as being violet. This light energy, this white light goes down, enters the crown chakra as violet energy, and then it moves down to the third eye chakra, right between the eyebrows, and there imagine the color indigo. And see that energy moving down the middle of your body, down to the throat area where the color becomes blue. And from the blue throat chakra, see the energy moving down further to the heart where it becomes green. And from the green heart chakra, the energy moves down just below the rib cage to the solar plexus, and the light energy becomes yellow. And from there, it continues to move down to the navel, to the belly button. There it becomes orange. And finally to the bottom chakra, the root chakra, and the color red. And then the energy continues down into the earth. And there you feel the grounding energy of the earth and the energy of the cosmos. And there you are in between. An energy field on top of an energy field. Moving, flowing with energy. So take some time now to process all of the information of today. To process the words from the book of Daniel. To understand the deeper meanings within those words. To understand the messages of change and positivity that are in our lives. And to understand that we all go through a process of learning. We make mistakes, but we grow and we learn. And in that we realize there are no mistakes, they're just processes of learning. Now I want you to consider the world and all of the challenges taking place right now. And understand that though there are many individuals caught up in some of the dark, evil ways, to have a moment of compassion for them. Compassion not for their actions, but for the weakness of their being, to allow such negative influences to affect their lives. And I want you just to imagine sending light and love to each and every of these individuals, that the darkness may be cleansed from their beings, that they may see the error of their ways and find strength to overcome the darkness. Imagine sending love and light around the planet at this point in time, just to heal the planet Earth. And know that there is a battle of light and dark taking place, of good versus evil. And this is a point in time where we can affect the change taking place by simply sending love and light and positivity into the world. Let us pray that the world opens its heart to the love available. Let us pray for protection from the great Creator, to protect those and strengthen those who are standing steadfast in the love and with faith. And let us just imagine ourselves going forth through life, wearing the armor of God, moving courageously and faithfully through all challenges that may present themselves. So let the subconscious mind continue on that journey of moving strength courageously through life. Let us bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's the show for today. Thank you so much for being here yet again. You know the works that we're reading. Read ahead. Do more research. And we're all learning together. Thank you for being here. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll continue on. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.